Hello. Now let's talk about letters, sending letters through the USPS. And this is a regular size envelope. And most people send letters just using 2 pages, 3 pages. That would just require one piece of stamp, the forever stamp. And right now the price is 55 cents per stamp. And a lot of people doesn't know this. Usually when it's 5 papers inside and it goes over a certain ounce, it goes up to 70 cents. So when they happen to just put one stamp and then the price was supposed to be 70 cents, that letter goes back to the sender. So that's why most of the time they have written up here postage due, like how much they owe for a stamp, and then they have to send it back again. So that's usually the normal letters. And a lot of times in my office, people send out letters and they put in here mostly bills. They have to pay the light bill, they have to pay bank cards or mortgage and stuff like that. Some people put checks in here. Some people put money orders in here. And and this is not guaranteed at a certain time that it gets there. The normal delivery for meals are 3 days approximate if it's near you. But the plants process thousands of meals every day, and it's inevitable that sometimes people write the wrong zip code, sometimes they don't write it illegibly. It goes to machines do make mistakes too. So when it goes through a machine and it's really fast, it goes through just like that. It prints out a line, a series of lines here, and that is like a barcode that the machine reads. So when that happens, some of this mail goes to being sent to a different office or to a different place, a different town, a different state. And that mail has to be processed back by that post office or by that branch to be sent back to the where it's supposed to go. And that has to be manually done. So they have to put the proper zip code on there, and then they have to send it out back to where it's supposed to go. And that's the reason why most of the bills or payments for the mortgages and stuff like that, those companies don't get it on time because this doesn't have any time frame when it's supposed to go there. And then the worst part is if this goes missing somewhere in the system, the customer comes to the post office and complains about it, and there is no way for us on our side to really look where that mail is because it's just a stamp. There was no tracking number at all. So we usually suggest, personally on my line of work, I recommend it. I ask them right away if they have a check or a money order in here. We don't recommend sending cash. I know it's hard to believe, but there are still a lot of people sending cash in envelopes like this. We really don't recommend that because once that envelope gets lost, the money gets lost, there is no way to track it and find it. At least with the check or a money order, you have a fighting chance because there is like a serial number on the money order that can still be traced, whether it was in cash, whoever cashed it or not. And then, so going back, we don't recommend people to send cash in this type of envelope. Some people send out gift cards. So when they do that, when I know, like I look at the envelopes people hand to me, and then I know that it's like 2 days. Usually it happens like at the end of the month that they have to pay bills. I ask them if they need a tracking number. And then they said, no, I don't need it. Just send it out. It never happened to me. It never got lost or whatever. So we sent it out. I sent it out. And then a week later, 2 weeks later, the customer comes back. My bank never received the payment. So where is the envelope? In our case, when you go to a certain post office, all the mails packages for that day is being sent out. Nothing is being retained in the post office, in that particular post office. It is being sent out to the plant. And once it gets out of that branch, the dispatching clerk or whoever is in charge of dispatching all those mails have turned it over to the truck driver. The truck driver have to bring it to the plant. So once it gets out of our hands in the local branch, the responsibility gets to the next facility. So if there is no way to track this kind of letter, we cannot see it. We don't know where it is. We cannot say definitely where it is right now. And then it's like a wait and see situation. So the only thing that I could actually advise the customer is it should come back to you. But if it doesn't, I don't know what to say because there's no tracking number on it. But before that, once the customer gets to my window, I usually recommend a tracking number. So it's either a priority or the cheapest one, first class certified mail. And then they would say how much is the priority. So once I give the number to the priority, how much it costs, they will say that's too much, and it's something that cheaper. So this is what I recommend. This is the cheapest way to send out letters like this. If you have gift cards, checks, money orders in there, or important documents, this is I usually recommend. This is the cheapest one. But the thing with this is a tracking number right here. But the thing with this is the receiver needs to sign this. So when it gets to the destination, the mailman usually delivers it to the door. The mailmen are not required to ring the doorbell. That was their policy. So I know a lot of customers doesn't like that, but that's really the policy. They are not required to ring the doorbell. So if there's anybody there, when the mailman walks up to the driveway and somebody was there that has to sign for it and it gets delivered, somebody signed for it. But when there is nobody there visibly, on the front door, on the lawn, on the yard, the mailman leaves a notice, and the notice looks like this. This is the notice. This is the first notice. So it's a peach-colored slip. So they leave it there to let you know that you have to pick up from a certain post office. They will write it down here, the details of whatever it is. It's either a package, certified package, or a certified letters, or certified large envelopes, priority certified, stuff like that. So they will leave it on the door. And then once they leave it on the door, the receiver gets it. They have to go to the post office to pick this up. They have to go to the post office to pick this up. So at the back of that slip is the name of the post office. So that's where you go and the customer goes to pick it up. And then going back to the letters with the certified. So once you decide that you want them to sign for it, this is what you're going to get, certified mail. But if you don't want them to sign for it, the only way to send that out is priority mail. You have a tracking number with that one, and then they don't have to sign for it. But if you want the cheapest way to do it, this is the only way to do that. You have a tracking number, but they have to sign for it. And now, you have to fill up that one right here. Right here on this area right here, you have to fill up that one. The customer have to fill up that one. So It gets filled up, but some people are old school. They don't do the digital. This letter anyway will not get delivered or hand over to the recipient unless they sign for it. So once those tracking number shows up as delivered in USPS.com, meaning they sign for it. Somebody on the other side signed for it already. So it cannot be delivered without the signature. But of course, you cannot see the signature. You cannot see it online unless if you have an option for electronic return receipt, meaning they sign for it electronically. Once you encode the tracking number, you will be able to see a signature of whoever signed for it on the other side. But some people doesn't like the digital aspect of it. So what they do is they want a tangible evidence that it comes back to them that somebody actually signed for it. And this is the option. Return receipt requested. The return receipt requested is sent back to you. Once the receiver signs for it, it's gonna be sent back to you with the signature and the date and the printed name of the receiver. So what they do is some people do it themselves, some people let the clerk do it. But in my office, it's a busy post office and it takes a while when customers have several papers or envelopes that has a certified on it. So what they usually do is on this return receipt requested, there are options here. Article addressed to, where it is being sent to, right here, article addressed to, right there. And then on the other side is the sender, the name and address of the sender. So once that's filled up, that has to be put behind the envelope. So once the sender filled that up, that has to be assembled. And it has to be assembled this way. This is the front of the envelope. And then this has to be put on here, right on the middle part. The reason for that is it has to be seen right here, the green one, so the whoever processed the mail will be able to see it right away. Among those letters that is being filled up together, they will be able to see it right away that it's a certified mail. So once it's done, at the back of the envelope is the return receipt. And you write down the article number right here, which is actually the tracking number. So it has to be written down here. So that's how we do the certified letter or certified mail with return receipt requested. Thank you for watching my video, and I'm asking you to subscribe on my channel. Thank you.